Right, so if you have been following Luca's first video that we did, this is actually the second time I've ridden him in the school. And you'll see I've actually got a pair of spurs on today. I just want to get him a little bit more forward off my leg, and rather than keep kicking all the time, I often find with the racehorses who are obviously not used to leg, to pop a small pair of spurs on and just giving them a little squeeze and niggling all the time with the spurs is much better than me constantly kicking at them. So you see, I just want to ask a bit more of him today. So I'm trying to get him to go forward, because what I want to do is I want to get him to start dropping that head down for me. Now I can't get Luca to do that unless he's taking me forward. And because he's quite relaxed and chilled out now, he's not going to be running anywhere with me, so I've got to push him forward and say to him, well, come on, take me, and then if we can get the head down, we can propel you a little bit more into it. Because obviously we've got to let him know that to really drop his head and stretch is going to be comfortable. So as you can see, I'm literally out of the saddle, hands nice and wide, and just trying to desperately encourage him just to drop that head down. So it's kind of a bit of a pressure thing. I'm like, come on, just come down with me, drop, drop, drop. And the more I can get him forward, you see in the canter there, he's dropped the head again. As soon as we come back to trot, the head's come back up a bit. But I'm not stopping. This is hard work. And I want to get this done if we can today, because otherwise we could be doing this for the next few weeks, few months. Everyone has the same problems. It carries on. It then causes back issues with the horse because the horse is just resenting it all the time. If I can get him to understand what I'm trying to ask, and actually that what I'm trying to do is to make him feel so much more comfortable in his work, in one session, brilliant. And you know, there's no gadgets. There's titanium mask on, me with a little pair of spurs and schooling whip, and my hands as low as I can get them. And he's like, what on earth do you want me to do? You know, but I've got to keep him going forward. He's got to keep going forward, because eventually the head will drop. And you can see he's like, I haven't got a clue what you're trying to get me to do. So it's just a case of trying to work with him. And if he suddenly just decides, actually, I can't cope with it, then I'll back off. So we've changed the rein. Bless him, he's had a little trip. Because the head's come up, he's not concentrating on where he's going. His ears are quite happily pricked, and he's, you know, pounding it on the bit, saying, what on earth is she doing to me? I'm keeping those hands there. I am not going to stop. I'm going to keep asking, and I'm hoping that he's just going to slowly drop that head down. And if you're watching here now, you can see the head's come up a bit more, but actually he's thinking about it. He's actually thinking, well, I'm just not too sure. He's backing off a little bit. I'm sending him forward. He's just not concentrating. He's backing off a little bit. I'm sending him forward. But I'm keeping those hands and just trying desperately to encourage him. Now I'm sat forward as well, hoping that the head doesn't come too high, because if it does, he's probably going to smack me in the face. Cantering, we've got him going even more forward. This is the thing, he's just got to learn it's actually all right. And you can see slowly the neck, he's just starting to think about it. You can just see it slowly starting to drop there. Down it's coming. He's getting the idea. He's not quite ready for it, and he's not quite sure, but I'm sticking with him. Down it's coming. And then suddenly the penny drops, and he's like, oh my goodness. And you can just see he just starts to move a lot more freer, a lot more comfortable, and he's quite enjoying that stretch. And now I've just completely relaxed the hands. There's absolutely nothing there. There is just Luca stretching down. I'm just going to keep pushing him forward and stretch, and he's loving it. So we'll change the rein, because the thing is, when you change the rein quite often, then it all disappears and you have to redo it all. So you can see, yep, the head's just starting to come back at me. He's like, oh God, I can't possibly do it this way. So straight away, I'm going to ask him again, head down, keep my hands, my body forward, keep sending him forward and say, come on, Luca, just drop, drop, drop. And there we go. I mean, this has taken 5 minutes. It could have taken 5 months, but it hasn't. He's settled, he's relaxed. And for a horse that's had back issues, he's had his back injected, this is going to help him no end now, because he's free, the head's down, he's not actually back. You can see he's so much more comfortable. So we're finished for the day, and hopefully he's got it. So we've had a couple of sessions since that day with Luca, back out on him. I'm hoping that you'll see quite an improvement with him. Again, it's all about just getting him to think forward. But he seems to be really enjoying his work at the moment. He's getting it. He's absolutely getting it. So as we set off, you know, can't completely work miracles. I still have to say, well, come on now, time to do a little bit, drop that head down. And he's like, well, I'm not too sure. Are you going to tell me? Am I going to do it? He's just thinking about it. Now don't forget, it took me, well, it was 5 minutes that session, after the first time I rode him. There we go, we've trotted round a couple of times and away he goes. He's dropped his head and suddenly he's just quite happy taking me along. He's still going to need the bit of encouragement every now and then. The head is still going to come back up. And you'll see there, he's probably going to go from one extreme to the other for quite a while. The head will drop and he will just keep stretching down. But I'm not going to stop him. I'm just going to let him find that comfortable patch. And as long as he's happy and he's going well, at the moment, what he's doing is he's strengthening up his own back. He's helping himself. So I'm just going to let him do that. I don't want to interfere with him. He's got to feel and be happy in himself now. And you know, he's stretching nicely, so just let him do the work. All I want him to do is just start enjoying himself and getting used to this different movement. So again, the sessions are really short. He's had a little stumble. I'm not going to get annoyed with him. You know, horses trip, that's what they do sometimes. He's still learning. And going into canter with his head that low, it's a whole different thing for him. He's got to engage the feet. He's got to engage the brain, engage the feet. And there we go. Just let him regain his balance in the trot, come round the corner and into canter. So much nicer. Stretching that head down, and he's just learning to just carry himself along. And I'm just there to help him now. So change the rein, because as I said with the previous video, you can change the rein on them and all of a sudden they've completely forgotten what you've just done on the other rein. But another little stumble, there we go. Come on, Luca. And he's got it. There we go, good boy. Nice and quickly stretching down. Again, you can see I'm just encouraging him nice and forward. Away we go. He's actually, guys, quite a nice big moving horse. And he's really starting to just get the idea and do things for himself, which is lovely. He's not relying on me as much as he was. He's enjoying the sessions. We haven't once had an episode of him saying he's not happy with it. And I think this is the main thing for him. Again, another short and sweet, finished. And we'll keep improving with him.